In this Throne and Liberty video, we'll be exploring the mechanics and concepts of the MMORPG that is launching on October 1st, which is just under a week away, and bringing you up to speed on what you can expect from the title. Throne and Liberty is a free-to-play MMORPG, and it has a weapon-based class system, extensive exploration features, and even the ability to morph into several animals and take to the skies or sea. We've been following Throne and Liberty over at Fextralife for a long time, and we actually did a preview video for this title back in 2017, if you can believe that, when it looked completely different than it does now. But now, with the imminent Western launch, it's long overdue to catch up on the channel, so you can see if it's worth the install or not. However, before we do that, I want to give a big shout out to Amazon Games for sponsoring this video. If you like what you see in this video and you want to check the game out for free and see if it's for you, use our link below to support the channel. Throne and Liberty will be available on PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S with cross-platform play enabled by default. While it has been available in South Korea since December 2023, it will officially launch in North and South America, Europe, and Japan on October 1st. The game aims to bring a unique experience to the MMO space, focusing heavily on exploration and open-ended gameplay. This is apparent right from the start, as unlike traditional MMORPGs that require players to choose a specific class, Throne and Liberty allows players flexibility by tying skills, abilities, and roles with weapon types rather than classes. The game's story sets the stage for extraordinary battles. The Wraith of Conquest, Khazar has amassed huge armies and threatens to engulf the realm of Solaceum in darkness. All kingdoms and factions in the land turn to the magic of the Star of Siliveth, with a worldwide hunt for its powerful magical fragments that are seen as the only hope to resist Khazar's invasion. As desperation grows, power struggles arise and guilds are formed to go after these special items. In this context, you must strategically plan and determine how to outmaneuver rival guilds, all while preparing for the inevitable clash with Khazar's relentless armies. There's a lot more to the story that you can get into, but since that's something best explored personally, let's instead focus on gameplay and mechanics. One of the standout features of Throne and Liberty is that it deviates from the traditional class-based gameplay that many of the MMORPGs out there have. In most MMOs, players choose a specific class to fulfill a role at the start of their adventure, such as being a warrior, archer, mage, or healer, and stick to those roles throughout the game with an option to create additional characters when they want to change it up a bit. However, Throne and Liberty takes a different approach, which eliminates the need to commit to a class, and instead players choose from a variety of weapons that tie to the abilities that the weapon types have. Each weapon type in Throne and Liberty is associated with a set of unique skills and abilities, both active and passive. This allows for a highly customized experience and flexibility, as players can equip 2 weapons at a time and switch between them during combat, making their build based around their favorite 2 weapons. I play a lot of MMOs, and I can see the appeal of both styles, but I'm particularly interested in Throne and Liberty's combat because it just looks so engaging. There are currently 7 weapon types that the player can choose from, but more are expected to be added in future game updates. Let me run you through what these are really quickly. If you prefer to take on the role of Protector, then Sword and Shield turns you into the ultimate tank. With this setup, you can draw enemy attacks, shielding both yourself and your allies when the heat of battle intensifies. It's all about standing your ground and ensuring your team stays safe under your protection. For those who thrive on fast-paced but heavy melee combat, the Greatsword is your go-to weapon. This versatile weapon lets you dish out heavy damage while staying mobile, making it ideal for players who want to dive into the action and dominate in close-quarters combat. If stealth is more your style, then the dagger gives you the tools of an assassin. With its speed and agility, you can strike from the shadows, confusing enemies and inflicting crowd control effects. The dagger is perfect for players who prefer a covert approach, slipping in and out of danger while disrupting enemy formations. For players who prefer ranged combat, the crossbow offers precision and speed. With the fastest attack rate and the ability to debuff enemies, this weapon allows you to keep your foes at a distance while dealing steady, reliable damage. If you prefer to deal damage from even greater distances, the longbow gives you the edge of a long-range marksman. You can rain arrows down on enemies from afar, staying out of harm's way while delivering lethal blows with accuracy. And of course, if you're looking to play as a mage, there's the staff, which allows you to deal significant damage to multiple targets at once. This weapon turns you into the sorcerer of the battlefield, casting powerful spells that leave a lasting impact on your enemies. And finally, the Wand and Tome combination is all about support. This setup enables you to focus on aiding your allies in battle, providing healing and buffs that make you an essential part of your team's survival. As a support unit, your role is critical in keeping the fight going and ensuring your team stays strong in the toughest of battles. I think the 7 weapon types offer a good amount of variety to give players well-rounded roles in battle and offers opportunities for support and complementary gameplay when doing group content. A player could switch between a Greatsword for close-quarter combat and a Wand and Tome for healing in a single encounter, adjusting their role depending on the situation. Having a combination of weapons, along with specializations that come along with them, can make for complex builds and variety for players to engage in. Modern MMOs have a tendency to create master of all classes, so I'm quite excited to see how the community approaches content and which playstyles emerge as the most needed for each type of content. Moving along to character progression. Character progression is one of the most important parts of any RPG, so having a good character development experience is crucial for these kinds of games with long cycles toward endgame activities. Throne and Liberty offers a straightforward approach to the first 50 levels, where you will mostly benefit from doing regular quests such as those from your Adventure Codex, and get perks from opening up exploration quests by finding waypoints. The system isn't grindy, and you can crunch this into a 5-hour period if you want to really push it, but I personally find the leveling part to be one of the attractions to playing Throne and Liberty. As you level, you'll note your skills can be upgraded from their starting point of Uncommon Level 1. When an upgrade is available, you can use precious skill growth books to improve both their quality — the uncommon part will become intermediate, greater, or special — and their level, resulting in more powerful versions of your known abilities. This contributes to a constant feeling of betterment that is quite rewarding as you play. In addition to selecting your weapon and abilities and leveling them up, you'll also have a lot of control over your character's combat style thanks to the skill specialization system. After reaching level 25, you'll begin earning extra skill specialization points with each level up. You can then start allocating up to 100 points into various weapon augmentations. These enhancements can modify your skills in extreme ways, such as increasing their area of effect, adding debuffs, or allowing you to move while using skills that usually keep you stationary. You can also extend the channeling time of certain skills to boost damage. Additionally, each weapon gains a new skill through this system, bringing the total of 12 unique skills per weapon. The tinkering available from the skill specialization system brings builds to another level entirely and gives you an enormous amount of freedom and how to progress your character to make it unique to your playstyle, and all of this with a rather easy reset button so you can adapt when something didn't quite work out. And if all of that wasn't enough, you can also transfer XP from one skill to another with some limitations, so you don't have to regrind your progress from scratch each time. Next, let's take a look at gear progression. You will also need to use the enchanting system in Throne and Liberty to improve your gear and equipment. Gear progression is done with growth stones available in white, green, blue, and purple tiers. Higher tier stones provide better upgrades for leveling up your gear. Unlike some traditional enchanting systems that risk weapon damage or loss, this system ensures that enhancements are applied without setbacks. Your weapon's level will remain intact and you won't face the risk of failure. You can merge growth stones to create higher tier versions and obtain bonuses for your enchanting, and you can also transfer XP from one gear piece to another, ensuring you don't lose your progress. There are some limitations to it, so you'd have to look at the efficiency thresholds for when to do the transfer, but the fact that there is a system in place is quite reassuring. There's a lot more to character and gear progression in Throne and Liberty, but it would probably be its own entire video, so the summary of it is that you should expect to have a quite engaging leveling experience and a lot of options and choices to feel you are progressing with your character as you go, as well as tools to swap and experiment without many drawbacks or regrinding. In Throne and Liberty, exploration is not just encouraged, it's a core component of the game. Much like Guild Wars 2, where exploration is rewarded with experience, new locations, and materials, Throne and Liberty incentivizes its players to explore the vast world of Solaceum. However, this isn't just a static world with static rewards, and the game incorporates a dynamic weather system and a day and night cycle that affects gameplay in various ways. Solaceum's world design really stands out from other MMOs I've played because it focuses on verticality and seamless exploration. You can climb towering cliffs, explore deep underground caverns, soar through the skies, and sail or swim across open seas, all without loading screens, making the world feel immense and connected. Each region you explore has its own unique features and quirks as well. The day and night cycle in Throne and Liberty lasts for 5 hours in real time, 4 hours of daylight, and 1 hour of night. Enemies can change behavior depending on the time of day, and certain NPCs only appear during specific time periods. This adds a layer of planning to exploration, as players will need to adapt to the constantly changing patterns to plan their movements accordingly. For instance, some creatures might roam an area at night, making travel more dangerous but potentially more rewarding for those brave enough to venture out into the night. Some abilities are also affected by the time of day. For example, the dagger's Ghost Step ability grants increased movement speed at night, giving dagger users who prefer the stealth-oriented playstyle an advantage during the evening. Weather also plays a significant role in the world of Throne and Liberty. There can be sunny days and clear nights, although it can also rain or be windy, with each weather condition occurring at random. Once it rains, it will last for 30 minutes with guaranteed clear weather after for at least 2 hours. These weather conditions not only affect the aesthetics of the world, but also impact gameplay and even the accessibility of certain areas. For example, a castle sewer might become flooded during a rainstorm, making it inaccessible for players. The wind can also play a factor, as the trajectory of arrows will be influenced by its direction, and the wind can also aid players in reaching specific locations. To further boost exploration, your character also possesses the ability to take on a variety of unique forms, not only to blend into the environment, but also to navigate and engage in battle with a tactical edge. These transformations aren't just cosmetic, each form serves a practical purpose, allowing you to adapt to your surroundings and the challenges ahead. Each transformation enhances your mobility, giving you the ability to traverse difficult terrain or outmaneuver opponents. In combat, transforming into a defeated boss provides a significant strategic advantage, letting you use their abilities when the situation calls for it. This system adds depth to both exploration and fighting, making it more than just a gimmick. It's a key part of how you interact with the world and approach different scenarios in Throne and Liberty. At launch, Silesium will offer 2 regions, 19 territories, 8 cities, and 6 dungeons. You'll also be able to face off against 2 arch-bosses and 18 other bosses, and the developers plan to expand the world with additional regions in future updates. This is a sizable amount of content, particularly for a free-to-play game, so I expect all these positives are raising alarm bells, and people are wondering, yeah, but tell me about the store. So let's dive into that. Since Throne and Liberty is a free-to-play game and will retain the same model as the South Korean release from 2023, this means you will interact with the store via 3 primary currencies, and these are Lucent. This can be acquired in 3 ways: by buying it with real-world money, PvP encounters and events, or by selling items through the auction hall. There may be more opportunities for acquiring Lucent soon, but we don't have a ton of information on that yet. Solent. Solent can be acquired through in-game activities. This will mostly be spent for buying items from NPC vendors, and Solent will also be required for crafting and upgrading gear and engaging with other game mechanics. And then finally, ornamental coins. Ornamental coins can be obtained through special in-game activities such as collecting lore books or even external promotional events such as Twitch drops. These coins can also be earned through in-game events and by progressing the free track of the game's battle pass. Ornamental coins will be spent mostly on cosmetics and progression items. Throne and Liberty also has an auction house in which players can trade their items and gear in exchange for Lucent, their premium currency. Lucent earned from the auction house can be spent normally, so players who choose not to spend real-world money are still able to earn Lucent. I spent quite a bit of time researching about the monetization for Throne and Liberty, and there didn't seem to be any player consensus on whether it means you must buy things to succeed or not. It will probably take a few months for anyone to fully see how these systems impact the overall game economy, but for me, I need to get there and see how it actually affects me while playing before I can make a call, so I'm planning on playing through the endgame as soon as it's out. Final thoughts. Throne and Liberty has been flying under the radar as far as new MMO launches go, which is surprising as the premise of the game is great, and they've put out some trailers that honestly amped me up. I like the idea of the flexible weapon-centric system, and I really want to see if the combat delivers the dynamic and highly customizable experience that I'm theory crafting, particularly given the previews of epic guild battles from both PvE and PvP. And yes, I'm not going to lie, I do love the idea of turning into a dolphin or eagle and expanding exploration that way. I really do love to go around fantasy worlds and see what's around each corner. Because the game is free to play, there is no barrier to entry, so I expect many people may want to give it a try right away. Will you be one of them? Have you played the beta or the Korean version? What do you think of the game? If you're planning on picking up the game and you want to download it and check it out for free, make sure you use our link below to support the channel. And once again, big shout out to Amazon Games for sponsoring this video. What do you make of Throne and Liberty? Let us know in the comments below.